Hello everybody. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 570, The Old Lighthouse. Beginner. The little boat went bump against the side of the island. Maya looked up at the lighthouse. It was old and grey. The paint was coming off. "Are you ready?" asked Ben. He was Maya's brother. He was strong and brave. Maya was a little scared. "I think so," she said. She didn't sound brave. They climbed out of the boat. The sand was wet. Seagulls cried above them. The island was small, just the lighthouse and some rocks. "Let's go," said Ben. He carried a big bag. It had food, water, and a light. They walked to the lighthouse door. It was big and made of wood. It was closed. Ben pushed it. It opened with a creak. Inside, it was dark and cold. Maya shivered. "Hello?" she called. Her voice sounded small. "Hello?" came a voice back, but it wasn't Maya's voice. It was deep and strange. Maya jumped. "What was that?" she asked. Ben looked around. "I don't know. Maybe it was the wind." They walked further into the lighthouse. The floor was stone. There were stairs going up and up. "We need to go to the top," said Ben. "That's where the light is." They started to climb the stairs. The stairs were old and went round and round. Maya felt dizzy. "Wait," she said. "I need to rest." They stopped on a small landing. There was a window. Maya looked out. She could see the sea. It was grey and cold. She could see their little boat. It looked very small. "Let's go," said Ben. They climbed more stairs. The air was getting thin. Maya's legs hurt. Then they heard it again, the voice. "Go away," it said. "Go away and never come back." Maya was very scared now. "Ben," she whispered, "did you hear that?" Ben nodded. He looked worried. "Yes, I heard it." "What is it?" "I don't know, Maya, but we need to be careful." They kept climbing. The stairs seemed to go on forever. Then, at last, they reached the top. The light room was big and round. The light in the middle was very big. It wasn't on. "Look," said Ben. He pointed to a corner of the room. In the corner there was a person. He was old and thin. He wore a grey coat. His face was white. "Who are you?" asked Ben. The old man looked at them. His eyes were dark. "I am the keeper of the light," he said. His voice was the strange voice they heard before. "But the light is off," said Maya. "Yes," said the old man. "The light is off and it must stay off." "Why?" asked Ben. "Because," the old man moved closer, "because if the light is on, they will come." "Who will come?" asked Maya. The old man smiled. It was not a nice smile. "The others," he said, "the ones who live in the sea." Maya and Ben looked at each other. They didn't understand. "You must leave," said the old man, "before they come." He started to move towards them. He moved very fast. "Run!" shouted Ben. They turned and ran. They ran down the stairs as fast as they could. The old man was behind them. They ran out of the lighthouse. They ran to the boat. They jumped in. Ben started the engine. The boat moved away from the island. Maya looked back. The old man was standing at the top of the lighthouse. He was watching them. Then Maya saw something else. In the sea, shapes, dark shapes moving under the water. She grabbed Ben's arm. "Ben, look!" Ben looked. His face turned white. He pushed the boat faster. They didn't look back again. They just kept going. until the island was a small grey dot on the sea. They never went back to the old lighthouse, and they never forgot the old man or the shapes in the sea. They knew one thing: some lights are best left off. Vocabulary notes. Bump, verb, to hit something with a small amount of force. Example, the car bumped into the wall. Similar words. Knock, tap. Example, the little boat went bump against the side of the island. Creak, noun, a sound made by old wood when it moves. Example, I heard the creak of the stairs as someone went up. Similar words. Squeak, groan. Example, it opened with a creak. Shivered, verb, to shake because you are cold or scared. Example, I shivered in the cold wind. Similar words. Trembled, quaked. Example, inside it was dark and cold. Maya shivered. Dizzy, adjective, feeling like you are spinning and about to fall. Example, the climb made me feel dizzy. Similar words. Lightheaded, giddy. Example, Maya felt dizzy. Landing, noun, a flat area at the top of a set of stairs. Example, we stopped on the landing to catch our breath. Example, they stopped on a small landing. Keeper, noun, someone who takes care of something. Example, he is the keeper of the zoo. Similar words. Guardian, caretaker. Example, I am the keeper of the light. Shapes, noun, the form of something. Example, I could see shapes in the dark. Similar words. Figures, outlines. Example, in the sea, shapes, dark shapes moving under the water. Story written by Gemini 2.0 Flash AI. Image created by DALL-E 3 AI. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you.
Have you ever noticed how sometimes the simplest stories are the ones that scare you the most? Well, today we're going to take a short story, The Old Lighthouse, and we're going to tear it down piece by piece to figure out exactly how it creates such an incredible feeling of suspense with just a few simple words. It all kicks off with this line that you might just read right past. The paint was coming off. But think about that for a second. The author doesn't need to say the lighthouse is haunted or evil. They just show us it's falling apart, that it's neglected. And right there, with that one little detail, that first seed of unease is planted. We know something's wrong with this place before we've even set foot inside. And that really brings us to the big question, right? How does a writer take a totally classic setting, a lighthouse, and just twist it into this place of absolute dread? What are the tricks? What's the technique? Well, let's find out. So let's do it. Let's put this story under a microscope and basically reverse engineer the fear. By the time we're done here, you're going to see the exact blueprint the author used to build this thing, step by careful, terrifying step. All right, so first up, the ominous arrival. Every good horror story has to have a solid foundation of fear, you know? So let's start at the very beginning and see how the author immediately sets the stage for what's to come. So right away, we get this classic character setup. You've got Ben, the strong and brave older brother, and then you have his sister, Maya, who's already a little scared. This is such a smart move because Ben gives us this false sense of security, while Maya, she's our way in. We see the whole thing through her eyes, which makes the fear feel so much more personal and immediate. And here, this is just a perfect example of that old writing advice, show, don't tell. The author could have just said, Maya was afraid, but instead they write that her voice sounded small. It's such a simple but powerful detail. It tells you everything you need to know about her vulnerability in that moment. We don't just know she's scared, we can almost feel it. Okay, so now let's dig into the next layer. Because a really threatening place isn't just about what you see, it's about what you hear and what you feel. Watch how the author uses really specific sensory details to just crank the tension dial way up. Listen to that. Not a click, not a bang, a creak. The choice of that specific sound is so deliberate, and it works so well. So why that word? Why a creak? Because it instantly makes you think of something old, something decaying. It's the sound of a place that's been sealed up and forgotten. It makes the lighthouse feel less like a building and more like, I don't know, a tomb being opened for the first time in 100 years. Then the author stacks another sense right on top of that sound. It's not just dark inside, it's cold. And that coldness causes a physical reaction. Maya shivered. See what's happening? The environment is now directly affecting her body. The line between the creepy setting and her own fear is starting to blur. And that word, shivered, is brilliant because it's doing double duty. Is she shivering because she's cold, or is she shivering because she's terrified? And the answer is yes, it's both. The word perfectly blends that physical sensation with the emotional one, and we're trapped right there with her. And now the climb begins. The simple repetition here, up and up, is designed to make you feel that climb. It's not just a few steps, it's this endless, exhausting journey, pulling them farther and farther away from safety. And the repetition continues, but now it adds a sense of disorientation, round and round. It's not just physical anymore. This is starting to feel mental. You can feel them getting confused, getting anxious, losing their way. And here's the payoff. The environment has created a direct physical result. Maya feels dizzy. The lighthouse isn't just a passive background anymore. It's actively attacking her senses, her stability. She's actually losing control. So after all that buildup, they finally get to the top. The tension is just stretched to its breaking point. And now they're about to confront the mystery head on. And then we get this absolutely bone-chilling line from the old lighthouse keeper. This is a masterstroke of suspense because it answers the question of why the light is off, but it immediately opens up a brand new question that is so much more terrifying. Exactly. Who are they? Maya asks the exact question that is now just screaming inside all of our heads. The story has us cornered, and we are desperate for an answer, no matter how bad it is. The answer is so simple, but it's also terrifying because it's so vague. It taps into this deep, primal fear we all have, the fear of the dark, deep ocean and whatever might be living down there. By not describing the others, the author forces our own imagination to cook up the monster. And that is always scarier than anything they could write on the page. And that brings us to the climax. The horrifying reveal is immediately followed by this panicked escape, where we finally get a glimpse of the truth, and we understand the story's real, chilling message. The escape is just a blur of total panic. They're running. The old man is right behind them. And then you get that final chilling image, dark shapes moving under the water. But you know what the final proof is? The thing that makes it all real? It's Ben, our strong and brave guy. His face turns white. His terror validates everything. And they just run. They don't look back. And this is how the story ends. On this one haunting idea. It's a powerful statement, isn't it? It suggests that some knowledge is just plain dangerous, that some mysteries are better left unsolved, that some darkness is there to protect us from what it's hiding. So now that we've seen all the individual pieces, let's lay out the final blueprint. This is the toolkit for terror that the author used to build such a perfect little suspense machine. When you really boil it all down, it comes out to this surprisingly simple 4-step recipe for suspense. 1. Start with an unsettling, decaying place. 2. Layer in specific sensory clues, creepy sounds, unsettling feelings. 3. Introduce a central mystery or an unanswered question. And 4.
pay it all off with a chilling reveal and a narrow escape. It's a powerful pattern, and now that you see it, I bet you'll start spotting it everywhere.
And all this leaves us with one final chilling thought. The story's message is that some things are meant to remain unknown. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What else is out there just beyond the reach of our light? What horrors do you think are best left in the dark?